So, a few weeks ago, I made a video about debugging TypeScript in Neovim, and in today's video, I would like to show you something more practical and more interesting in my opinion, and that is debugging TypeScript language server in Neovim. And I'm saying in Neovim because what we'll achieve in this video highly depends on Neovim's ability to be customized via plugins. And we will see why in a minute. But first, we should clarify what a language server is, just to have some more context. And then we're going to see some magic thing, at least for me, when it comes to debugging. Okay, let's see what a language server is. So we have this concept here, which essentially means that we have a program. So the language server is just a program that is responsible for what you might have heard of as IntelliSense, which consists of different code actions such as removing unused imports or automatically importing a symbol, let's say a function, as you type it in your editor. It also concerns things like auto-completion and stuff like that. So there is just a program that knows how to handle these cases, these features. But this program is just a program that runs in the background, and because it is a server, this also implies that we will need a client. So we have a client and a server, and the client knows how to communicate with the server, and the server knows how to respond to it, and these two communicate under a certain protocol, which unexpectedly is called language server protocol, also abbreviated as LSP. This will be, let's say, more common. So we have a client, we have a server. We've seen that the server is just a program that knows about your workspace and is able to respond to certain queries, but who is the client? The client, it might come as no surprise for you. It is in this example, or could be anything else, but in this situation, the client is your text editor. To be more concrete, Neovim implements the client part of LSP, and it knows how to communicate with the language server under this protocol, under LSP. To show that, let's see what happens if I open a TypeScript file. If I open a TypeScript file like this one, and let's say that I want to go to the definition of foo, then you see just what happened here is the result of LSP in action. Whenever I, for instance, go to the definition of any symbol, in this case it is this function, Neovim will make a request to the language server, which runs in the background, and the language server will analyze the request, will perform some search. I don't know exactly what it does, but it will answer the client with the necessary information such that the cursor will move from here to here. And the exact same process happens whenever you go to the definition of let's say console.log. So whatever you are seeing here is the result of LSP. And just to show one more interesting thing, to show that there is actually this TypeScript language server running in the background, by running this command, I'm getting all of the processes whose starting command contain this string, and we want to focus our attention on this row here. And this, what I'm highlighting now, is essentially the TypeScript language server which runs in the background. And whenever, let's say, I open a workspace, or to be more precise, a TypeScript file in a workspace, this server will start and it will start one per workspace, if I'm not wrong. Let's say that I open a different main.ts. Okay, so it opens, so this server is instantiated once per workspace, which makes sense now that I verified it. Okay, so we have this server which will respond to a request made from Neovim. Knowing that, what we can do to debug it, because that's the purpose of this video, we can clone this repo, we can build it, and then instead of spawning the server like this, we could spawn it in debugging mode via node inspect. So just one more mention before we actually see this magic. This is the TypeScript repo. This concerns the language, the compiler, TypeScript compiler, and a language server, or to be more precise, it is called TypeScript server. But this server does not implement the protocol, the LSP. For that, we have another repo, TypeScript language server, which is a wrapper around this repo, but this wrapper knows how to talk with LSP clients, which essentially means that this server implements LSP. And this is used actually right here. So what I've done here in this tab is to clone this repo, build it. You can see here the what has been resulted after the build. And what I'm going to do next is first of all quit this, so that I don't see any new language server, so that I'm not getting confused, because when we will debug this, we will need to pick the process that that we want to debug. Okay, so I'm going to do what I've said earlier. I'm going to invoke this the build file, the build executable, if I'm not wrong. I mean, I think there is a node script, essentially this this file here, but I'm going to run it with node inspect, and this will essentially attach a debug server to that, which means I can attach to that server via client and that could be, for instance, the browser or Neovim. Okay, now let's save this. Let's open a TypeScript file. I'm going to open foo.ts, and if I go to the definition, you see that it works. Now let's see what happened under the hood. As you see here, the TypeScript server has been invoked, has been spawned with node inspect, which means the language server will work as earlier, but now we can attach a debug client to it. And let's see that in Neovim, why not? So I'm going to open, let's say, I don't know what exactly I should look for, so this might take a while because I hadn't done any preparation. I don't know exactly where to look for. Document symbol, maybe here. Collect symbol information. I don't know exactly where to look for. I should have done that earlier, probably. Comments. No. LSP server. Could be it. Initialize. Let's say document symbols. Am I getting anything from here? Document symbol. I think this one. So I've placed a breakpoint here, and I hope it will work. Get symbol location. Get symbol locations. Anyway, Now I'm going to attach to that language server that started in debug mode. And for that, I'm going to attach to a process ID. I'm going to scroll down, and now I'm going to choose one from here. And let's see which one. I think I'm missing it. Okay, this is the one. Or not. So if I look for the process ID, this would be 2508. 2508. This is the one. Okay. Now I'm going to select that process to attach to. This is good news, that it means if this thing appeared, it means that Neovim has attached to that debug server. And now if I go back here and if I go to the definition, for some reason it doesn't work. Maybe I haven't placed the breakpoint in the right position. Now I'm wondering where I should place a breakpoint so that you can see that it works. I know that it must be here somewhere. LSP client, maybe. You know what? I'm going to start from the entry file. I know that it might take some time, but I guess we could spend a bit more time on that. So I'm going to start from the entry file, which would be cli.ts. This I know for a fact. Now this will start a server, create a LSP connection. Okay, so this is a place. Now it's very good. Let's search for symbols. Symbols, document symbol. Let's say on document symbol. Actually this was it. So for some reason it doesn't work. Oh, maybe it's because no, I think it should work, but I don't know why exactly it doesn't work. Okay, definition. Document, let me search for that. Document all symbols. Is there a thing? Document symbols. Collect document symbols. Let's try that. Okay, there we go, finally. I know I've spent like 2 or 3 minutes on that, but now it works. So you can see that I'm debugging in Neovim. So what I did was in this file to invoke a command that will make the LSP client make a request to the LSP server to fetch all of the documents, all of the symbols in this document. And at some point this method has been invoked, and that's why I'm being able to debug this. And now I can if I have the time, of course, I can go over this and try to understand whatever is going on here. And now if I continue without having any breakpoint, in these tabs here, I should see a list of all of the symbols. And I'm going to do that. And now you can see the symbols here. And this is how, after some problems that I have encountered for 2 or 3 minutes, now we are able to debug the TypeScript language server, and the same thing you can apply for any language server that you want, and in essence for any TypeScript program that you want. And I could also expand it and say that you can also apply it to any program that runs in the background if you know how to start the debug server attached to it, to that program. Okay, so this would be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.